So even after I uploaded my tank video, I was like, this is trash, no. So I'm like, oh, what if I just make a remaster? So I'm like, let's do this, but first I have to finish this Sinai video coming soon, guys, I promise. I know, my setup is garbage from all these model kits, so why don't we take a look at the tank itself?
Why don't we? You keep promising new videos and then you don't ever post you. I've lost all respect for you. How can you do this?
Alright, get the hell out of here. There you go. So back onto the video in this new studio of mine. So after I assembled this tank here, what I did was spray it down in Krylon primer, specifically gray. Although I do of course prefer Rust-Oleum, I mean it's just better. The Krylon primer works just fine, so it's not a big deal at all. Next I did one of my favorite things in model kit building. I guess that, to be fair, can go with anything. But anyway, that's not the point. What I did next was use my airbrush to spray some paint on. Really all I did was just take some black paint and then spray it in on all of the details and crevices of the tank to give it that nice, realistic look to it. And it looks much better, by the way. Yeah. So after I painted the pre-shadowing, you'd think that all I would have to do was just paint on the base color, that being this type of green. But there was one problem with that. It wasn't quite the right kind of green. It was much more bright and cheery, which, you know, isn't how a tank from the 50s is supposed to look. So all I had to do was take about a fourth the amount of green, of brown, and then mix it in with the green. And then it was just the perfect color whenever I sprayed it on. And it turned out really well. So now that we're done with an airbrush, now I can use the normal brush, the one without air. Really all I did was just go into all of the different colored parts. For example, the wheels, the treads, any tools, dirt, the mechanical parts underneath on the bottom. Next thing I did was dry brushing. So here's a demo for all of you who don't know what that is. Dip your brush in water, press it on a paper towel, and swirl it around to make the bristles spread. Repeat the same process but in paint, and then on the paper towel you remove only most of the paint and then just dab it all over the place on the model. I also ended up painting these little infantry figures here. They were a lot of fun to paint, and yes, they were small, but still pretty fun. You also get to store this little tank commander in the ball. I mean this opening hatch. So here's that video that you asked for.
Idiot, we can clearly tell that you've recorded this over 2 days. How did you change your clothes magically otherwise?